Between Europe and Asia, economic dialogue, humanitarian missions, multi-vector cooperation and search for compromises in the world arena. How else does Kazakhstan participate in the development of the modern world? For more details, watch Kazakhstan International Vectors. Today in our program, what is the main problem for all business ladies in the world? How and when will women's entrepreneurship enrich the global economy? And also, who and how finances entrepreneurs in Kazakhstan? Zaure is a mother of many children and a prosperous business lady. She says that, contrary to stereotypes, it was not scary to open her own business, although there were plenty of difficulties. There are many people in my mansion, girls and women, who are not afraid of anything concerning business. They may need support from the family and colleagues. In fact, women are strong enough to start their own business. Today, the business of Zaure is a unique language center in Almaty with its own premises and even funding from the USA. This is not the first business project of an entrepreneur, but it was this center which allowed her to find perfect business, of course not without the state assistance. In the progressive 21st century, gender discrimination still exists in the labor market. This is confirmed by world statistics. Employers are more likely to prefer male candidates and more quickly promote them at work. But the main difference is in wages. Women are primarily affected by the uneven distribution of labor from the wage gap, and women are subject to various gender discrimination. The limitation of women's economic opportunities has a very negative effect on the overall economic growth of the country. According to various studies, men around the world are paid up to 1/2 or 2 times more than women in similar positions. In Kazakhstan, this gap is about 30%. And this is one of the reasons that many ladies refused from high labor in favor of their own business. In addition, this work provides an opportunity to independently manage the time, which is especially important for women with children. The number of business ladies in the world is growing rapidly and much faster than that of businessmen. According to the European Economic Review, over the past 5 years, the number of women in business has increased by 22%, the number of men only by 6%. And this despite the fact that, according to experts, it is much more difficult for female entrepreneurs to find a source of financing. Another global trend of modernity is the growth in the number of women in leadership positions. Large marketing research has long proved that more than 80% of decisions in all sectors of the economy are taken by female consumers. Therefore, women decide on what, how and to whom to sell. According to the McKinsey consulting company, if women can participate in business on a par with men around the world, the global GDP can grow by almost $30 billion already by 2025. It is difficult for women to organize business. In Kazakhstan, it was proved by the specialists of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. According to the research, the first and main difficulty here is the search for sources of financing. The trust among the financial organizations in a business lady, for some reason, is not high. Women take loans in a smaller amount. They are more serious about repaying these loans. They consider all the risks very carefully, but banks look at it from their side. And for them, the less you take the loan, the riskier borrower you are. In addition, banks have so-called male psychology. Despite the already proven fact that men usually take on credit as much as the maximum the bank can give, and a woman exactly as much as she can pay off, experts fix. Each decision of the ladies take a long and balanced approach. For them, it is important to have full information and an individual approach, but the bank does not take it into account. Again, studies have shown that women's business community is less cohesive, less developed than men's. It turns out that women, businesswomen, especially in the corporate sector, they less support one another, unfortunately. The main hope for Kazakhstani women who dream of starting their own business is the state, and to date actively supports them.
В Европе и в Америке присутствуют более такие феминистические.
In Europe and America, the feminist sentiment exists that women should receive equal conditions with men and should not have discounts and benefits.
Льгот, поэтому сейчас у них больше можно говорить о каких-то.
We can speak about unified programs. We on this issue adhere to other views. We believe that women should be helped more broadly and should be provided with more preferential terms.
Более широко, более льготные условия предоставлять.
Programs to support women's business in the country are being successfully implemented today. Thanks to them, almost half of business projects in the country are run by women. We have conducted a survey among Kazakhstan's people asking what they think about women in business, and that's what they replied.
Положительно.
Больше с негативом, потому что они больше уходят типа в бизнес, нежели в семью.
Я положительно, это похвально, мне кажется, смыслом. То, что женщина занимается бизнесом, да.
Они делают новый вид бизнеса, более гармоничный.
Гендерное деление в 21 веке, оно уже неприемлемо.
Женщина есть женщина, женщина должна дома сидеть.
Большинство бизнесменов мужчины.
Я думаю, мужчина, потому что, лично из примеров из отца, я думаю, что мужчины больше, они как-то договариваются больше с мужчинами.
Наверное, больше мужчин. Почему? У них больше на это времени.
Zaure Uvalieva opened this training center in Almaty a couple of years ago. It is really unique in its kind because it allows to get a certificate of completion of British secondary education without leaving the city.
В настоящий момент у нас реализовывается две.
At the moment, we are implementing two programs, one social and other commercial social program called English Access. For this program, 30 school children aged from 13 to 15 years study English for 2 years for free.
Английский язык совершенно бесплатно.
The program is funded by the U.S. State Department with the support of the U.S. Embassy in Kazakhstan and through the U.S. Consulate General in Almaty.
Генконсульство США в Алмате.
Another competitive advantage of the center is the opportunity to go through training and here in this room to pass the final exams. Zaure perfectly understands the needs of her clients. The opportunity to save on flights and accommodation plays an important role. In addition, parents are afraid to let their children go to study in another country. Who, if not the mother of 4 children, would understand this?
Другой момент, который заставляет родителей волноваться, это то, что...
The moment which makes parents worry is that the children live in a foreign country, even though under the supervision of the mentors and employees of these schools and boarding houses.
Школ и пансионатов, и отправлять их, скажем, в возрасте 16-17.
They are afraid to let their children, adolescents at the age of 16 or 17, study somewhere far away, even for a year. It is quite serious stress for both parents and students.
Но также и для самих детей это тоже такой достаточно серьезный стресс.
The path to this business idea was very long. At first, Zaure recruited entrepreneurial experience. She opened both photography courses and a children's business school. But it was a hard time with the training center. Negotiations with the British Examination Board lasted for 2 years. However, this was not the most difficult part.
Самое сложное, это, наверное, как у всех, было совместить работу.
The most difficult thing was to combine work with family.
Оригинальным. У меня 4 детей.
I have 4 children, and it was honestly quite difficult to have a hand on the pulse, to study the market, to study the product, to study programs, to choose textbooks and teachers.
Изучать продукт, изучать программы, выбирать учебники, выбирать учителей.
All these factors, teachers, textbooks, were chosen successfully, but the Commission refused to give permission to work without their own premises. Then Zaure asked the Damu Foundation for the assistance.
За кредитом я обращалась 2 раза. Первый раз 2 года тому назад.
I applied for the loan twice.
Того, что сама бизнес-идея показалась
For the first time, it was 2 years ago. I was refused because the business idea itself seemed not interesting to the bank. 2 years later, when there was a program of mass entrepreneurship, I applied again to the Damu Foundation.
Бизнес-план, который был написан 2 года тому назад, и
I refreshed the business plan that was written 2 years ago, and I received a loan directly with the support of the Enterprise Service Center.
Менеджеров, которые там работают, сотрудников, я получила кредит.
Zauria was among the first Almaty women who received a loan under this program. She took a serious amount of 18 million tenge in the bank, but under a preferential interest, and at last she has got the premise. Today there are 2 training halls, a teacher's room and an administration here. Another enrollment of students is being conducted. According to statistics, women entrepreneurs are more successful today in countries with the developed economy. The reason for this is greater access to opportunities and financial resources, to all kinds of services and educational programs. For example, London is the best city in the world for a business lady. There, within the framework of business incubators, special programs for women are being implemented. For example, in this startup center, Campus for Moms has been running since last year. The entrepreneur can attend classes with children. One example of startups launched following the results of the first set is a service for single moms for finding neighbors. English experts estimated that 300,000 business mothers in the country bring as much as £8 billion a year. In 2017, the international MasterCard company was first to introduce top 10 countries with the best opportunities for women to succeed in business. The first lines of the index of women entrepreneurs are occupied by the states with developed markets – New Zealand, Canada and the USA. It is here that the best conditions for supporting women's entrepreneurship are created. For example, active small and medium-sized business communities, quality regulation and simple conditions for running their business. Strangely enough, but the top countries with the largest share of women among entrepreneurs includes the less well-endowed Uganda, Bangladesh and Vietnam. There, ladies most often start commercial activities due to the need, rather than because of the opportunities that motivate them to open their business. For this rating, 12 indicators were used and 54 countries in the Asia-Pacific region, the Middle East and Africa, North and Latin America and Europe, representing 3/4 of working women in the world, were considered. Women can become successful in business both at the expense of government programs and through private initiatives. For example, in Australia, the largest diaper manufacturer company supported business moms and distributed 5 grants, $20,000 each. Due to this, one of the women entrepreneurs has established the production of a special system for blocking water leakage, which is used for bathing children. The world's largest producer of carbonated beverages is implementing a global program to support women's entrepreneurship called 5x20. The corporation allocates significant funds and expects to actively involve 5 million women around the world by 2020 in the program. In Kazakhstan today, the proportion of women in both large and small businesses is 43%. This is 5% higher than, for example, in the US. Experts associate such figures with the dashing 90s when former teachers and former doctors or women went to the market trade. Today, both conditions and prospects for business are completely different. Among business people who took advantage of the options of the Single Business Support and Business Roadmap 2020 development program, women comprise about 1/3. Almost 3,500 female projects have been subsidized. The average amount that Kazakhstani women take on credit is 140 million tenge. The state supports business in many different ways. In 2018, almost 40 billion tenge was allocated for these needs. There are many opportunities to get preferential loans. It remains only to figure out what to do.
Есть такие примеры, когда кажется, что бизнес...
There are such examples when it seems that business is not at all feminine, but women there are successful.
Программу гарантированием молодых начинающих предпринимателей.
For example, when we launched the Young Entrepreneurs Guarantee program, our first client across the country was a girl from Pavlodar who completed the course of crane operators.
И купила этот кран, поставила.
She bought this crane and put it on bail. She received our guarantee loan and now provides crane services.
По услуги крана.
In Kazakhstan, like all over the world, women still prefer to open small businesses. Ladies first of all go to those areas that are close to them for understanding, such as cooking, education and training of children, opening beauty salons and providing for medical services. According to the latest data, over 1 million individual entrepreneurs are registered in Kazakhstan. Of these, more than half operate under the leadership of women, and this figure continues to grow. The branches of women's business annually require less investment, however, they still need to get starting capital somewhere. The Damu Foundation actively supports such business initiatives within the framework of 2 programs at once. One of them is microcrediting.
Поскольку женщины являются...
As women are better borrowers, since they are more responsible to the issue of repayment of the loan, and banks and microfinance organizations that are our partners willingly lend to women.
И микрофинансовые организации.
In 2009, on behalf of the statement of President of Kazakhstan, which was made at the forum, a special program for women was created.
Казахстана была создана специальная программа.
A woman entrepreneur receives a subsidy from the state, which immediately reduces the loan rate to 7% per annum, from the standard 14%. The main condition of the program is that the company should be run by a woman and at least half of the employees must also be female.
На сегодняшний день
To date, more than 1,500 women have got bank loans throughout Kazakhstan.
составила 14 миллиардов.
And the amount of loans is 14 billion tenge. Women are responsible for giving back the loan, and all this amount is being returned in good faith.
Срочки добросовестно возвращается.
And there are such opportunities in all 16 regions of the Republic. Everywhere service centers for entrepreneurs are functioning. Consultants help to collect documents, prepare accounting reports free of charge, and draw up a business plan. Moreover, a specialist will even take you to the bank literally by hand.
Для людей, всех людей, не только для женщин.
For all people, not only for women, the first trip to the bank is a little stress.
Им предъявят вот такой список документов.
Everyone thinks that they will be presented with a huge list of documents, which they do not have. In fact, every entrepreneur has a certificate of registration of the LLP, the charter of LLP, business plan documents for the collateral property, which the person is willing to provide. The most important is the company's financial statements.
Также самое важное – это финансовая отчетность предприятия.
The Damu Foundation has one more program, Women in Business, which is implemented jointly with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. According to it, about 12,000 women received loans at a preferential rate for a total of 17 billion tenge. Conditions for participation in the program are somewhat different. In addition to the fact that a woman should lead a business, the company itself should be no less than 2 years old. As part of the program, consulting services are provided as a push to move to the next stage of development of their business.
Программу мы сделали комплексной.
Our program is comprehensive. It also offers financial assistance. That is, a woman can be credited through the EBRD in 5 second-tier banks in Kazakhstan. Plus, she receives non-financial support. These are consulting projects. This is business coaching when the consultants accompany the woman from the beginning till the end of her business project implementation. This program is implemented by the EBRD in 16 countries. In Kazakhstan, the main funds for its implementation are allocated by the Ministry of National Economy. Other partners of the investment project are the Association of Business Women in Kazakhstan and the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs Atamikan. The comprehensive work with the business ladies being conducted, which includes also psychological assistance,
We
want to drive through 6 cities in Kazakhstan to gather women, especially young ladies, who are just starting out a business. We invited our customers to successfully use the resources of the program. They will talk about their different stories, not only of success, but also about the failure, about how they have started and why now they are flourishing. Today in the world there is practically no sphere in which women would not work. Ladies are represented both in leadership positions and in the private and public sectors. However, the main barrier to the development of women's entrepreneurship, in the opinion of many researchers, remains questions of gender equality. Experts of the World Economic Forum believe that it will take about 8 decades for the world completely set free of stereotypes and the division of business opportunities on the basis of gender. So, by the next century, men and women will be equal in entrepreneurship.